Well, forget about 5G. Get ready for 6G networks. Remember when 180 scientists from 36 countries wrote to the European Union demanding that they stop the rollout of 5G because of massive health concerns? Remember how they warned governments that we absolutely should not deploy this technology until we studied the long-term effects on human beings? Well, let me read it for you. We, the undersigned scientists, recommend a moratorium on the rollout of the fifth generation 5G until potential hazards for human health and the environment have been fully investigated by scientists independent from industry. 5G will substantially increase exposure to radio frequency like electromagnetic fields, RF, EMF, and has been proven to be harmful for humans and the environment. Yeah, well, they blew right past that. They didn't give a hoot about it. They ignored the scientists. They rolled it out anyway. And now, without addressing one single of those concerns, they're preparing to unleash something far more powerful, far more invasive, and potentially far more dangerous, 6G. So here today, I wanted to break down exactly what this technology is, how it works, why governments and corporations are racing to deploy it right now, and why, once again, experts and scientists are sounding the alarm about its risks, from cybersecurity to surveillance to national security to human health. Like across the board, they're criticizing this. Because once you understand what 6G actually does, you'll understand why this isn't just like another tech upgrade, like some guy up on a tower just like upgrading a transformer. It will be a transformation of human life and possibly a threat to it, in the very same way that mRNA vaccines changed millions of lives. So what is 6G exactly? So let's start with some of the basics. 6G is the sixth generation of the cellular network technology, the thing that's supposed to replace 5G. Of course, that's the obvious part. But unlike previous upgrades, the jump from 5G to 6G is actually massive. 6G will operate on frequencies far higher than anything used today. It's extremely tight. It's like laser-like beams of energy that can deliver unimaginable data speeds, near zero latency. Now, I've spoken to sources who've worked for these companies, and they've told me their business plan is to basically eliminate your need for Wi-Fi in your home. Like, you won't need to call up Comcast. You won't need to call up any other providers because 6G will just be all around you. Why would you pay for Comcast? It's going to be super fast, so no need to get Xfinity in your home. No need to have a router in your home. That's the plan. I've seen the documents, and I've talked to the techs who are actually building this out. So here's the major difference, though, between 5G and 6G. 6G will be AI native, of course. So everything's AI, right? Artificial intelligence won't be just an add-on. It will be built into the network at every level. The system will make real-time decisions. It'll reroute traffic. It'll identify patterns.
All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about the next massive leap in wireless tech, 6G. And look, this isn't just about your downloads getting faster. We are talking about a complete reinvention of what a network even is. A network that doesn't just connect us, but one that actively senses the world around us. Now, this creates a huge problem. How can one system be great at two totally conflicting jobs at the same time? Well, there's a really clever AI trick that solves this, and we're going to get to it. But first, let's unpack this incredible new power.
I really want you to think about this question for a second, because it is the heart of everything we're about to cover. What if the very same network that brings you video calls could also spot an unauthorized drone near an airport, or see a pedestrian step onto a foggy highway, or even watch your hand gestures to control a machine? I know it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but this is exactly the world that 6G is promising to build. So first up, a network that sees. How on earth do you give a network the sense of sight? Let's break down the core technology that really separates 6G from everything that's come before.
The secret sauce behind all of this is a technology called Integrated Sensing and Communication, or ISAC for short. And, the name says it all. The network is no longer just a pipeline for data. It's also becoming a massive distributed sensor, using its own signals to map the physical world in real time. It's a total game changer. This right here really shows you the fundamental difference. 5G is fantastic, right? It's great at connecting things that want to be connected. Your phone, your smart TV, all that stuff. But 6G with ISAC, it adds this whole other layer. It can sense passive objects. Things with no electronics, no chips, no way of talking back. We're talking about a person, a car, a piece of equipment in a factory. The network is going from just connecting participants to being aware of its entire environment.
Alright, Shalom. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Akim. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. All praises and glory is due, especially in the times that we're in, right? And you can see the video, right? And this is actually old technology, but you know, this is just the first time that Jake is hearing of it. I saw the brother from the South Beach camp, Yashaya. He did a video going into it. I decided to do my own video going into it as well, because this is huge, man. You know, this is, you know, once again part of the algorithm of the MOTBB. Well, like I said, this is old news, right? Something that this is something that ESO has been in that ESO has been had in development for the better part of 2 years now, right? Ever since 5G rolled out shortly after. I don't even think it was up to a year, so barely a year after, you now have 6G being rolled out, and basically ESO Edom, the so-called red man, right? It's just showing the technology and showing the capability and what they believe the technology will be able to do, and if it can actually do all the things that this devil claims that it can do. Because you know how ESO is, they either undersell the tech or they oversell it, right? So who knows what these devils got going on right now? Who knows what kind of technology these devils got around here right now? So basically, you are hearing about what this 6G is, and if this is what it can do, right? If everything ESO claims it can do is what it's capable of, then it's the final component, right, for their MOTB New World Agenda, right? New World Order. Because if you remember, the big thing about the NWO and the big thing about the MOTB and what we as the men of the Lord that are in this truth have been warning our people of, right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the scattered Israelites that have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, is that what these devils actually want to do, right? What ESO Edom, the so-called red man, actually wants to do is take control, right? Have total control of the earth, because he wants to be as the Most High. So let me get a quick precept. So this is the book of 2 Thessalonians, the second chapter, 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, right? And we are in those times right now where the man of sin and the son of perdition is revealed to be ESO Edom, the so-called red man. Not just the individual ESO, but the entire nation, okay, the entire family, the entire bloodline. They are the wicked which the Bible speaks of, right? Now 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, all that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And that's exactly what ESO Edom is trying to do. They're trying to make themselves as gods on the earth, right? And this 6G, with its surveillance ability and the high-speed internet connectivity that it has, will be able to make that possible. Because whenever I talk about the AI and the biggest problem with the whole MOTB, I usually talk about data, right? The large amounts of data that will need to be sent to and from these AI data centers to the C heap, and then from the C heap back to the AI data centers, and back and forth like that, right? But with 6G to become, it will be far more easier to send this data at high speeds, and it also becomes easier as well to understand why Anybody that takes the sea heap, they definitely will get a noisome and grievous sore, as the scriptures say. And I believe that should be Revelation the 14th chapter. Let's get that. So let's go to that real quick. Let's see. Okay, so like I meant Revelation 16. Let me just type it in. I can't remember where that preset is at. So let's type that in. Right, so this is the book of Revelation 16 verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your way and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men that which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. That's right, because basically with this 6G, man, it's going to be unsafe and unhealthy, okay, for human beings, man. All these signals, all these waves going through you. That's the reason why you are seeing that over these past few years, people are getting more and more sick, right? It's become more and more difficult to stay healthy, right? You're having all kinds of headaches, all kinds of sores, yeah, having even getting more fatigued and all that, because of basically, Esau has been destroying and corrupting and polluting the earth, right? You already know that this is the destroyer of the earth, right? This is the devil that has defiled the whole world, as the scriptures say. And that's exactly what he's planning to continue to do with this 6G, because now, if you actually watched the video that I was going into, they're talking about that. They are talking about how basically everything, basically Esau is trying to make an internet of everything, right? So everything will be part of the 6G interface, so it becomes easier for the 6G to be able to perform its surveillance. You can read the surroundings, right? You can see, you can basically create the data maps of the surrounding environment, so the buildings, the walls, and everything, even to the point of, who knows, you could probably even, to the point of colors and patterns. You never know, right? But the point being is that this is, of course, still all a part. There is a reason why all this is happening, right? There is a reason why Esau is going this far to create this kind of technology, and that's to push his Great Reset, his NWO agenda, which is, of course, is primarily revolves around the mark of the beast, okay, the MOTB, which is once again the implantable RFID microchip. So let's go to this real quick. As the scriptures say, that he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, or basically in their hand or in their forehead, right? Which, of course, once again goes back to the implantable RFID microchip and also all the other brain implant technologies. Now imagine your brain being outfitted with a chip that can receive 6G signals, that shit will blow up your head, man, especially when it's pushing data, fast, and you to blow up your head if it doesn't just heat up your head and just melt your head, basically, because of all the heat that is coming from all the signals that it's sending and receiving constantly. But we'll see how it eventually plays out when this whole thing is being pushed on the earth, right? When it becomes mandated, okay? Because that's what's coming next, right? That's what we're patiently waiting for. These devils are already, preparing to go to the next phase of their enterprise, of their wicked, agenda, right? In order to push and continue to push their wicked agenda on the earth, right? In order to get more further control of the world, and basically plunge the world into their dream, their fantasy of being gods on the earth, right? Of serving like the Most High, right? How is that specific? Let me get that real quick. That should be Obadiah. Obadiah. Right, so this is the book of Obadiah 1, and I'll start from Okay, not Obadiah Salakia. Yeah, Obadiah 1 verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Right. And right now, man, the most say how about Samuel Shai 3 7, the prophets are already exposing Esau, Edom, and their wicked agendas. Now you have this 6G being prepared, right? And these devils, we already know what they want to use it for. And they're trying to speed up the rollouts, right, for these things. But alas, we are not yet in that time. And that's the only reason why you see that the MOTB hasn't yet been pushed, because we're not yet in that time, man. Once this thing starts, once this thing really kicks off, when there's no going back, it's a, as the scriptures say, immediately after the tribulation of those days, there's no going back, man. Everything starts coming to pass. All these prophecies start coming to pass one after the other as quickly as possible. Once, snap in a snap of your fingers, sharp, fast. Okay. But this is the next thing that is coming up, man. This is the next major prophecy that is about to come to pass, right? And we see that these devils are already preparing the infrastructure in order to set up the MOTB, right, all over the earth. So with that, I'm going to end the video right there. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakodash, Wa Abad Baba. And through the Spirit of Yakim and Joaquas were edified. Shalom.